Ideal mesmo para o mundo atual seria fazer o ensino médio junto com o curso técnico, certo? É no Senac que o aluno tem autonomia de verdade, formação cidadã, foco na diversidade, preparação para o Enem, material didático sem taxas e muito mais. Na real, tem tudo que você precisa para se sentir preparado para a vida. Seja para entrar no mundo do trabalho ou te ajudar a decidir o que fazer na faculdade. Quer saber? Senac. Vem comigo. Acesse sp.senac.br/ensino-médio-técnico.
A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC. Breaking news, WABC.
And this just in on Katz and Cosby, a story in the New York Times saying how Kamala Harris burned through $1.5 billion in 15 weeks, talking about the spending on corporate jets and consultants and also all these different
and she's still
interviews.
20 million short.
Yeah, and she's still 20 million short. You know what's amazing, John, too? We heard 1 billion. Now we're hearing 1.5 billion, and she owes money.
Wait, we heard that Oprah got 1 million. The number is 2.5 million.
Isn't that amazing? For her production company.
I wouldn't have voted for her, but I would have done it for less.
I would have done it for less. We could have split it.
Yes,
That would have been a good deal.
Deal.
Let's go to Bill
How
O'Reilly.
about Bill O'Reilly will come in with us on that deal?
Bill, would you come in with us on that deal on a 2.5 million for interviewing her? I think so.
No, you can't buy me, Rita.
Shoot. I thought I could all these years. Shoot.
I'm Elliot Ness's cousin. I'm not coming in.
We didn't say you had to vote for her. We just said you had to do the interview, you know?
Yeah. First of all, happy birthday. My first job was at Carvel. I made those dopey cakes.
Oh, thank you, Bill. Thank you for the birthday
Can you
wishes.
prove that you worked at Carvel, please?
Yeah, I did. I worked Old Country Road, Westbury.
Is there a picture of you?
Yeah, that was my first job, and I was good at it. I think that was the last job where they ever liked me.
Oh, my God. By the way, we had the best Carvel cake. It was great. Thank you, John, for bringing it. It was awesome.
I got notice because we're in the real estate department. Our real estate department got notice that Tom Carvel's ranch is being sold upstate.
Oh.
I don't even want 35 million.
I actually knew him before he passed, and he was a very charitable guy. He's Greek, and another self-made man, just like Catsimatidis. Anyway, if I were Trump, I would have the FEC, Federal Election Commission, investigate the campaign. It may look like small ball, but it's not. So you have Oprah Winfrey accepting $2.5 million. She tried to deceive everyone in the beginning. She denied everything. Then the Washington Examiner, which broke the story, got the data that $1 million was given to Harpo, and now the New York Times says $2.5 million. The New York Times is not a source of information that I entirely trust, but this goes against their grain. So you got to say, well, I don't think they would make this up or fabricate it. So I'm going to assume it's true. If that's true, then the federal government has to look into Harpo, which is Oprah's company, has to. But even worse than that is the Al Sharpton $500,000 coming into his charity, whatever you want to call it, his organization.
Yeah, the National Action Network.
Remember, Sharpton makes an enormous salary from that, enormous. And then he turns around on
one
NBC.
correction. He makes it tax-free.
Because these foundations are very easy to grift. So $500K goes in there, and then 2 weeks later he does a cupcake interview with Kamala Harris on NBC News' air, MSNBC. You can't do this. This you could almost go into the fraud area. You almost have the Justice Department look into it if you've got an attorney general who knows what they're doing. Okay? But I would first give it to the FEC to absolutely get every piece of documentation there is. This is serious stuff. And people are kind of laughing it off, up. Yeah, we all know about the media. I was listening to you guys earlier, but I had to bail for a few minutes. Did you talk about the Scarborough meeting at Mar-a-Lago?
No, go ahead, because that's interesting, too.
All right, so this Morning Joe crew, which does not have much of an audience, never has, but the D.C. and Manhattan pinheads on the left watch it. So they apparently show up at Mar-a-Lago to make nice with Donald Trump. And there's a picture and all that. They didn't do that on their own. They were ordered to do that. NBC, as well as ABC and CBS, knows they're in big trouble. MSNBC's numbers are down 43% in prime time. That's Armageddon. So all three networks know that they are going to hemorrhage viewers because they cover the campaign dishonestly, and they did.
Yeah, they did. You know what's interesting, Bill? Did you see The View was trashing Morning Joe? They were mad that they even went to talk to Trump. I mean, it's incredible.
Well, that's the last holdout. I kind of almost respect The View because they're going to go down like the Alamo. They're not going to give up. So Morning Joe and his wife, they'll run over. They'll do what they're told, okay, to protect their paychecks. But The View, they'll go down in flames. So something about that I kind of like.
Yeah, at least you know where they stand, right? That's amazing. It is amazing. Now, you wanted to talk about New York City about to change. How so? For the better or worse?
Well, it's a real sad situation, and I don't have time to get into it responsibly with you tonight. But I'll give you a headline, and then maybe the next time we chat, we'll get into it. Out in California, the voters got rid of 3 progressive district attorneys in San Francisco, in Los Angeles County, and in Oakland. They were the worst of the worst, these 3. Alvin Bragg is just as bad as they are. Yet an article today in the New York Post said if Bragg runs for re-election, he'll win. That's a skin color vote. And I'm getting about as fed up as I can get. What are you voting for if you want Alvin Bragg to return? What? Disorder in the streets, fear in the subways. You can't even buy an aspirin in a CVS because they have to lock up everything because shoplifting is not prosecuted. A Marine in the subway, you're prosecuting that person. I think that person's going to there's absolutely no beyond a reasonable doubt. So I think there'll be a hung jury there. And then the Trump thing, this is all Alvin Bragg. And you're voting for this? I'm sorry, you're not a good person if you cast a ballot for Alvin Bragg, in my opinion. I know that's harsh, but you're not a good person if that's what you want for this city.
You know, Bill, I will say it is astounding because we have seen this change. Like you brought up San Francisco. I think of also in L.A., Gascon. I mean, he was a disaster. I was so happy they finally got him out. But it's like the Democrats it doesn't sound like they have a primary person for him. I mean, that's what they're reporting, that it is amazing. And what does that say? There was just a horrible attack just recently. We were talking about it earlier. 2 people killed and another,
Two people were stabbed to death this morning, and the woman was also stabbed, and she's in critical condition.
Yeah. I mean, what more does it take?
8 prior arrests. 8 prior arrests.
I can't blame Bragg for that in a city of 8.5 million people. But I can, with authority, say that thousands of people have died because of Alvin Bragg. Because he will not prosecute most crimes. Most arrests in New York City are not prosecuted. That is a fact. So the police are running around doing their job.
That way, arrests are down.
And the DA will prosecute.
Right. Not only they're not prosecuting, the police officers, the arrests are down because they're not, arresting.
So you're voting for that? That's what you're voting for?
Not us.
No, I understand. But I think that good people have to start speaking out.
Yeah, and also take a cue from what happened in California, like you said. I mean, if they can get rid of a Gascon and some of these others, which are definitely in the same league, also Soros funded, you would think it'd be a wake-up call to New York, right, Bill?
Well, they booted him in Chicago. They booted him in St. Louis. But New York, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely absurd and irresponsible.
It is. And Bill, also, before we let you go, I know that you made a beautiful contribution to feeding the hungry. Bravo to you, too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, again, we're up against the clock, I understand. But years ago, I gave Al Sharpton a lot of money because he had run out of money and he could not have the annual Thanksgiving turkey giveaway. And I'm glad I did it. I hope he didn't take the money. I don't think he did. But I gave a donation. And people should not, in this country, go hungry anytime. But Thanksgiving, no. So I'm happy to give to WABC, and I hope everybody listening does as well.
Absolutely, Bill. You're such a good human being. Thank you for helping them and making a Thanksgiving special to so many people in New York and elsewhere. You're terrific. Bill, we love you.
Happy birthday, Rita. Have fun.
Oh, Bill, thank you. Love you very much. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Bill, thank you. And everybody, what do we all stand for?
Truth,
justice, and the American way.